Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Paul. So happy to be with you. And please forgive me for just being a few minutes late. There we go. We'll adjust the camera a little bit there. Okay, now we're firing on all cylinders. Good. So thank you for coming to today's live stream. Today, we're going to be talking more about Tao Calligraphy, how to heal your back. And this is session 21 or 22 in the series. And we're moving along. We're moved into chapter 8, possibly chapter 9. And because the first 8 chapters went by very fast. And the last 3 chapters, 8, 9, and 10, possibly 11, they take up the last third of the book. So I'm not quite sure exactly where we're at in terms of chapters in the book. But I'm happy to be here with you. And today, actually, I was forward reading a little bit as to where we're at and what's coming up. It's very exciting. We have some great stuff that's coming up here. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. So let me go ahead and pick you up to speed for those that are just popping in. So my name is Paul Fletcher. I'm one of the center leaders at Tao Center Portland. I'm blessed to be a Tao Chong leader, which basically means I've been given the authority to offer extraordinary healing through Tao Calligraphy. And that's also why I'm reading this book, Tao Calligraphy, How to Heal Your Back, because it goes in and explains the nature of Tao healing and how it works. And specifically, it describes Tao Calligraphy, the nature of Tao Calligraphy, how it is source art and carries source frequency and vibration. And that when we interact with it, we can receive some pretty significant shifts and changes in our vibrational field. Now, in case you missed any part of the first couple of weeks, when we have pain, when we have suffering, when we have financial issues, when we have relationship issues, it doesn't matter what the form of suffering. The wisdom that Master Sha brings to us is that there is a root cause, and that root cause is negative information in our vibrational field. So people say, how did it get there? Very simply, our thoughts, our words, our actions have not always been pure and positive. So whenever we have a negative, unpleasant thought about somebody, towards somebody, that does not leave us and go away from us. It stays in our vibrational field. Whenever we offer negative words, you're worthless, you're no good, I hate you, whatever those unpleasant words might be, those do not leave us and stay outside of our vibrational field. They stay with our field. And the culmination of this in our lifetimes of our thoughts, words, and actions that were out of balance with love, honor, respect, support, oneness, intention of bringing about the ideal values of oneness and love. Anything out of alignment with that, they stay in our vibrational field and they create imbalances in our world, just as when we throw those barbs towards others, it creates imbalances in their field. So you probably have some in your vibrational field that you did not create. Others decided to give them to you, like our beloved news. It loves to give us copious amounts of negativity. Very few news sources give us positivity, things that are of value to us. So that ends up in our vibrational field as well, contributing to things like depression or anxiety. See? So Tao Calligraphy is a form or a medium through which the delivery of the most pure positive frequency and vibration is given to us, in this case, through the beautiful animations that come connected to this book, or through the calligraphy itself that has been posted in the images in this book. We have been working with those for the past many weeks, and now we will continue to work with them today. So now I'm going to go ahead and check in with everybody here, and then we'll start doing some reading of the next parts of the chapter. So welcome, Sunlight Tosh, and everybody else who's checked in, please put your name in the chat. Tell me I'm here. Tell me where you're from. Love to acknowledge you. And as always, thank you for clicking on the share button and letting other people know about this very special opportunity. So the next aspect of what we're going to be doing is I did pull up, I have to make sure it's here. I did pull up the next pages of what we're supposed to be looking at. I just got to locate them. There they are. Okay, good. So now I can serve you. So I want to pick up where we left off at and remind you This last couple of weeks, we went through all of the 10 Da qualities. If this is new to you, hearing it for the first time, please go back and watch the previous episodes. You can see them through Facebook at Master Sha's Tao Center Portland Facebook page. We also have them posted instantly to YouTube. I see Sherry's coming in on YouTube. Welcome, Sherry. Welcome, Jean. Great to have you here. Jean's coming in. I think Jean is in either Canada or Europe. Not 100% on that. But I'd love to hear where you're coming in from as well. And so you can always go back to YouTube and watch those. I put them all in order in a playlist. And so let's go ahead and move in to today's teaching and reading of the book. Okay, we'll start where we left off. And we've been talking about the Tao Calligraphy healing field. And as you may remember, we've worked with this calligraphy here, Da I, this entire last couple of sessions. And we use Da I to trace several parts. We use it to bring healing to our physical health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health. And today we will use it a little bit more, but we're going to use it for the Jungmai. So Master Sha is, especially in his current teachings, putting great emphasis on the Jungmai. Now, this is a term that is associated with Buddhist teachings. Like the channel itself has different names. If you went to the Eastern Indian teachings, they would call it the 7 chakras and the Qi channel. In the Buddhist teachings, they call it the Jungmai. In the Christian teachings, I have no idea what they call it, but I'm sure they have names for it. And in Master Sha's wisdom, heaven asked him to refer to it as soul houses in the Qi channel. Now, even the Qi channel has different names. They have different terminology for that, depending on what system you study. But in essence, regardless of the system of study, it's all the same. It's the same energy system. It's the same chakras. They all have different labels for them. But it's really interesting to note that almost every system of spirituality and awakening of the energy body that exists out there, they all agree there's 7 chakras. They all agree there's a channel that goes up the 7 chakras and down the back. There's one that goes up the back and down 7 chakras. They all have this agreement on location and functionality. They just have different names. This is important to understand because as a new person, how do you know they exist? In Hawaii, in the Master Sha Tao Center in Hawaii, Dr. Sam, he was a heart surgeon, and he was one of the powerful healers there. He said, "I have cut in his Chinese Thai accent. I have cut open many people's bodies. I have done much heart surgery, but I have never seen a heart chakra." That's because you can't see them. They're energy centers. But 5,000 years ago, they knew they existed. Probably before that, but that's the earliest documentation. The Eastern Indian cultures knew they existed. The Buddhist cultures knew they existed. The Taoist cultures knew they existed. The Christian cultures know they exist. How do they know if you can't see it? Because of the spiritual channels and spiritual abilities to see. Okay, so more on that at a different time. Let's jump back into this and see what it has to say. So we're talking about the Jungmai, and Master Sha goes on to say the Jungmai healing and transformation. There is an ancient secret wisdom and practice to heal and transform the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. In fact, this secret wisdom and practice can help heal and transform any aspect of life, including relationship, finances. It's named Jungmai healing and transformation. Jung means central, and Mai means meridian. So let's talk about this a minute. The Jungmai consists of, and he'll talk about this more, the 7 chakras and the meridians through the back of the body. Now, these have been used for centuries for healing. I had a phone call just a little while ago from a person, and her memory is okay, not great. And she asked me the same question often. She says, I have headaches and I have sinus congestion, and what do I do? And my answer is almost always the same. I suggest to her to practice for the Jungmai, which is called the Qi channel, and to practice for the space in the back of the body, which Master Sha is not talking about in this verse or this chapter, but he might talk about it later, called the Wai Jiao. And basically the channel goes through the middle and then the back of the body. It's a circle. And the thing that's most interesting about this is this kind of healing, this kind of a channel can serve a significant amount of people if you practice with it. You just have to know about it and learn the mantras, which hopefully we'll do some today. So let's now go back into this screen. I'll make sure I'm on the right location here. Great. And here we go. The Jungmai is a vertical channel in the center of the body, from the bottom of the torso to the top of the head. It starts at the Hui Yin acupuncture point and ends at the Bai Hui acupuncture point. Now, if you're new to this, pay attention. The Hui Yin acupuncture point is at the bottom of the torso. It lies between the anus and the external genitals on the perineum. The Bai Hui acupuncture point is at the center of the top of the head. So you imagine a line running from the center of the top of your head between your left and right sides. Like if you touch the tip of your ears and draw an invisible line, touch the tip of your nose and draw an invisible line, where that intersects is where your Bai Hui point is. The Bai Hui acupuncture point is at the intersection. These two acupuncture points play a major role in balancing yin and yang. The Hui Yin point, which is the one at the root base of your torso, absorbs Mother Earth's energy. The Bai Hui point absorbs heaven's energy. Mother Earth is yin, heaven is yang. For 5,000 years in traditional Chinese medicine, the number one principle for healing is to balance yin and yang. You think that's a small principle? And yet we've just been given one of the major keys of balancing yin and yang, which is to work with this channel. Master Sha goes on to say that yang is the nature of fire. Fire is hot, it's ascending, it's exciting. Yin is the nature of water. Water is cool, it is descending and calm. Every system, every organ, every cell, and every part of your body are divided into yin and yang. For example, the back of your body is yang and the front of your body is yin. The upper part of your body is yang, the lower part is yin. The outside of your body is yang and the inside of your body is yin. The organs inside your body, these internal organs, are also categorized between yin and yang according to the 5-element theories that are used in traditional Chinese medicine. Now, the major yin-yang organ pairs are, and we'll go have a little chart on this in a minute, the wood element connects to the liver and gallbladder. Wood element connects to the liver and gallbladder. So everybody, take your right hand, put it over your right rib cage, just below the rib cage. That's where your liver and gallbladder are. They're pretty close to each other. Liver is quite big. It's about as big as your hand. The gallbladder is quite a bit smaller, but they work together. That's called the wood element. Okay. Now put your hand over your heart. Your heart is just to the left of your chest. That's a major organ. It's called the fire element organ. And that's the yin. But the yang is actually the small intestine down in your stomach area. Isn't that interesting? Now put your hand over your lungs. Lungs are the metal elements. Metal. Okay. And the metal element, the yin, is the lungs. The yang is the large intestine. Isn't that interesting? See, in Western medicine, we would not see any connectivity between them. But the reason this is so relevant, and the reason Master Sha is teaching this to you here, is because when you practice with this channel that he is describing to you now, it starts to bring balance to these 5 elements. Let's do element 4 and 5. Metal element, put your right hand over your left rib cage, down near the bottom. There is the spleen and the stomach in there. Spleen is the yin organ. Stomach is the yang paired organ. And finally, you have your kidneys behind your back. You have two of them. Kidneys are the water element, and the paired organ for the water element is the urinary bladder. So very, very interesting, these points that he goes over. So he shows them in the next page over here, right in this column, and we'll go over that in just a minute. But he goes on to say that I share an additional basic wisdom of 5-element theory for the physical body, emotional body, and more. The wisdom goes deeper. Every organ is divided into yin and yang. So even though we have the wood and the gallbladder and they're completely separate, the wood has a yin and yang, the gallbladder has a yin and yang. Isn't that interesting? Every cell is divided into yin and yang. You ever seen the circle? Well, a cell is, if it's a healthy cell, is pretty much circular. It's not perfect, of course, but imagine that little yin-yang symbol in there. Every cell has a yin and yang balance. Hence, we go back to the original wisdom. Balance yin and yang, heal everything. Master Sha goes on to say that yin-yang balance is healing. Excessive or insufficient yin causes sickness. Excessive or insufficient yang causes sickness. The Jungmai runs through and connects with 7 major energy centers called chakras. In traditional Tao teachings, they are called first energy chakra, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. They're called gear at the bottom of the sea. That's the first energy chakra, gear at the bottom of the sea. The second one is called the water gear. Okay, the water gear, your second chakra. The third one is your sun gear. Your third chakra is behind your belly button. The fourth chakra is your heart chakra in the center of your chest. It's called your fire gear. And the fifth energy chakra is called the wind gear. The sixth energy chakra is called the moon gear. And the seventh at the crown of your head, slightly above your head, is called the heaven gear. So heaven gear is pretty obvious, right? It isn't that curious, the other ones. Ocean sounds like water. Why do they call it the gear at the ocean, the bottom of the ocean? Master Sha shares in some of his other teachings that the gear at the bottom of the ocean is one of the most important chakras. And it's one of the biggest gears. And I teach this in my Advanced Open Spiritual Channels classes. But when the first chakra is empowered correctly, think of it as a big gear turning with all those little splines. You know how when you turn the gears, they work with each other like that, right? And so that one, when it's powerful, it causes the other gears to work better. So this is one reason why it's called the gear at the bottom of the sea. Very, very important job. A strong first house. So welcome also Francia, welcome Pranjal, welcome Anthea. So happy to see you all here. And thank you for clicking the share button. So let's pop back in here. And you'll also see on the column on the left-hand side, the elements. I'm not going to go into those. If Master Sha talks about them in the next page while I'm reading it, great, I'll cover it. So you can see the image here where he shows you the chakras and the gear name associated with it. And you see the dark black dot at the very base of the torso, the Huiyin acupuncture point. You see at the top of the torso, the Bai Hui acupuncture point. And then you see the 7 chakras and their connected association. So he goes on to say, the Jungmai also goes through the Sanjiao, which is often called the triple burner or triple warmer in English. It consists of 3 major spaces in the body, the lower jiao and the middle space of the torso below the level of the navel, the middle jiao and the space above the level of the navel, and the diaphragm, and the upper jiao, which is above the diaphragm. You see this in the image here. So you have these 3 spaces, lower, middle, and upper space, referred to as lower, middle, upper jiao. Collectively, they're called the triple burner, 1, 2, 3, triple, which is also what san means. San jiao, san means 3, jiao is space. Or in the Western acupuncture terminology, they'll call it triple burner. Okay, so you see here in traditional Chinese medicine, the Sanjiao is the pathway of qi and body fluids. That's very important to understand, because in his teaching, in his wisdom, and remember, he's a medicine doctor, traditional Chinese medicine, Western doctor, and he's traditional Chinese Eastern medicine. He has both modalities of understanding. And in the West, they do not talk about movement of qi. They do not say that Sanjiao is the pathway of qi and bodily fluids. They'll say, what have you been drinking lately? Bodily fluids run through the bloodstream. It's that simple. The heart pumps the blood, we're done. And yet in the Eastern traditions, they say, no. This 3 areas of the body are very relevant to the movement of your life force energy and the movement of your qi. And I just gave you an example a little while ago. There was one of my students that calls and she has headaches a lot and she has sinus activity and stiff necks and sore throat. What does that tell you? Well, when you look at this image, it's upper jowl blockages. It's blockages in this upper space of her body from her sternum up here. So the qi is not moving. The fluids are not moving. Therefore, she has headaches. She has migraines. She has neck issues. So what do I suggest to her? I suggest that she does practices for clearing the blockages in this upper space. So these are what Master Sha is teaching. We're not going to go into all of those finite pieces of information right now. But why is he teaching it here? So that you can have a better understanding of the Jungmai practice. And he goes to teach Jungmai yi tong bai mai tong. That translates to, if the central meridian flows freely, all meridians flow freely. Then he says, Shan jiao chong tong bai bing xiao chu. If the Sanjiao, these 3 spaces, flow freely, then all sicknesses are removed. For the central meridian to flow freely, blockages in all 7 chakras or gears must be removed. Again, for the central meridian to flow freely, blockages in all 7 energy chakras or gears, the blockages must be removed. Blockages are negative Shen Qi Jing. I'm going to read ahead real fast here, see where we're at, so I know. Okay, so let me go. There we go. All right, so we're at the half-hour mark. So what I want to do now is I want to do some practices. We're going to have plenty more information to cover as we go. So what has he covered so far? He's described the 7 chakras. He's described to you how they each have the Buddhism terminology for them. Gear at the bottom of the sea. You've got the water gear. You've got the sun gear. You've got the moon gear. You have all these different gears through all the different chakras. Then he says you have a lower space below the belly button. From the belly button to the top of the diaphragm, you have a middle jowl, middle space. And you have a space from the top of the diaphragm to the top of your head. Okay? And these 3 are called the Sanjiao, the triple burner. He finally finished by saying, when your qi moves through these 7 chakras, when they clear in those spaces, you can heal and become happier and healthier. You can feel much better. So let's put that to practice. Choose one thing that you're not feeling so good about right now. Maybe it's an emotion. Maybe it's abdominal discomfort. Could be lower back pain. Maybe you have some anxiety going on, right? An emotion. Maybe a little fear, a little worry. Choose something that's tangible and measurable. If you don't have anything, you're blessed. Give it a number. Before we start doing these practices, give it a number. 10 being miserable, worst pain, worst discomfort ever, worst emotion ever. 0 being I'm perfectly happy. Okay? And we're going to do a practice. We're going to do several practices. This one is called Wang Hong. And Wang Hong is a practice that incorporates the 7 powers, the 4 powers, body power, mind power, sound power, soul power. And we're going to chant Wang Hong. And when we chant this, we're going to, I'm going to show you the hand movements, and we're going to visualize the clearing in our upper space and the middle space. Where's the middle space? The middle space is between your sternum, center of your chest, and your belly button. That's the middle space. So that means everything above that is the upper jiao. Everything below your belly button is your lower jiao. So we're going to visualize red light in the middle space, white light in the bottom space, blue light. We're going to chant Wang Hong all in one long breath. We're going to breathe in and we're going to go Wang, all in one long breath, okay? I'll lead, you follow. And we're going to keep our eyes closed and visualize red, white, blue. Okay? All right, everybody stand up. Okay, good. Now, hands like this. See if I can get this to go up any higher. Okay, hands like this. Shoulders are relaxed. Don't stress yourself. Okay? And we're going to chant Wang Hong. Repeat after me. Dear the soul of the mantra, Wang Hong, you have the power to release blockages in my upper, middle, and lower spaces. Do a good job. Thank you. Deep breath in. Knees are slightly bent. Legs are shoulder width apart. Knees are slightly bent. Deep breath in. Now we're going to start moving our hands. When we chant, we're going to go Wong, Hong, red, white, blue. Okay? Let us begin. Deep breath in. Knees slightly bent. Wong, Hong. Remember red, white, blue. Again, breathe in. Continue. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. Keep your eyes closed. See the red and then the white and then the blue. Deep breath in. So when your hand comes down to your lower abdomen, they're gently rounded and they face the entire lower abdomen from the belly button down. Deep breath in. more times. Deep breath in. Okay, beautiful. Have a seat. So that's one practice that you can do. So this practice is very, very effective, especially if you have low energy, you want to boost yourself, you wake up lethargic on a consistent basis, have trouble sleeping on a consistent basis. This is an exceptional practice for that. Okay? If you want to know if the power is sweet, taste it. If you want to know if this helps, and some of those conditions, they resonate with you, then you need to do this. What is it doing? Wang Hong. Wang vibrates the crown chakra and the upper space. Or R vibrates the center space from the heart chakra down. And Hong vibrates from the third chakra down to the base of your torso. These are ancient sound powers that are associated with either the chakras or with the spaces, because you will hear those sound powers specific to some of the chakras. It's not uncommon. In fact, the Jungmai channel uses the sound power Hei Hung Hong, you just learned that one. Ah, you just learned that one. Shi, throat chakra. Yi, sixth chakra. Wang, you just learned that one, is crown chakra. So the channel that we'll go into in the next training is Hei Hung Hong Ah Shi Yi Wang. But now we're going to continue on the on the San Jiao. So Master Sha refers to these as the three rivers that run to the ocean. Okay, these three rivers are very, very important. Again, the ancient teachings, when qi flows, blood follows. Where is the lower jiao at? Where's it at? Below the belly button. What's there? What's the majority of what's there, right? You have a lot of stuff in that area. You have your stomach, large and small intestine. You got portions or parts of your spleen. You have portions or parts of your kidney reaches down into that zone. Yeah, excuse me, not kidneys. Your liver reaches down into that zone. You have the urinary bladder. You have all of your sexual organs. You have a lot going on. Lower back, right? That entire area can be stagnant, right? What is it called? The three rivers that lead to the ocean. You ever seen a polluted river, right? Where it kind of gloms up and you have those white bubbles everywhere and trash is hanging out on top? That could be, for some of us, the energetic look of our body. Because when we have negative thoughts, words, or actions, they accumulate in the spaces of the body. Again, to remind you of some of the earlier teachings in the earlier chapters 4 and 5, Master Sha refers to some of Dr. Lin's quantum science, and he reminds you that we are 99% space, 1% matter. That means that these three rivers of space within the body can have a lot of accumulated crud in them. So when we chant Hong, H-O-N-G, for the lower part of the body, we can start to move the chi, move the water, if you will, and let that river flow more. Start moving that crud that settles on the top of the surface. And people can just, if you have urinary bladder infections, if you have a lot of digestional issues, right? Always tight lower back. Try just doing Hong, 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 10, 15 minutes. You could be very surprised, because it's like turning on a high power faucet, starts moving the chi. You could have some shift in your discomfort. What about ah, ah, ah? That's the sound power typically for the fourth chakra, heart chakra. But in this 3-part practice, ah, or sometimes you'll hear it as R, is for the heart chakra or the sternum down to your belly button. What's in there? Obviously your heart, good chunk of your lungs. What else is in there? Spleen, stomach, pancreas. What else is in there? Kidneys. What else is in there? Liver, gallbladder, upper portions of your intestines. Do you think it's important? Do you have blockages in those areas? How would you know if you have blockages in those areas? Master Shah talked about the 5 elements here. He mentioned the wood element, liver and gallbladder. He mentioned the earth element, spleen and stomach. You got digestional issues, middle jiao, right? What about some breathing issues? Could be in the lower parts of your lungs. You can only get some top breath in, okay? In the metal element, lungs and large intestine are connected. They're yin and yang organs. So this is not all taught in this portion of the book. He does teach it in other books, including this one here. So he goes into detail on the 5 elements. If you don't have this book, Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, which came out about 1.5 years ago, just before the pink book we're currently working with, get it. It teaches you this 5 element stuff that I'm tying in right now. So you see the connectivity to this practice for the Wang Hong. What about the upper jiao, from the heart, sternum up? So we have the heart, the upper part of the lungs, we have the neck, sinuses, everything in the head, the brain, the eyes, right? How much of us get stuff stuck up here? Raise your hand if you do. Most all of us, right? And so this is upper jiao stuff. And so Wang Hong is actually one of the most potent practices that you can do. I bet you if you did 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, whatever is your problem that you're complaining about, if it's a physical or emotional issue, sleep issue, anything of that nature, pain, I would bet money that it would dissipate measurably. How much? 10%, 50%? Don't know. But it would be measurable enough, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. So there's a reason why Master Sha puts this wisdom in his books. Okay, there's a reason why he talks about these 3 jiaos, the san jiao, the triple warmer. And there's a reason why he's saying do these practices. Okay, so Wang Hong. Let's do 2 more minutes. Stand up. Breathe in, knees slightly bent. See the red, white, and blue. Five more times. Excellent. Have a seat. Okay. So more of you have joined. So sorry we didn't get you on the first part of this. So this will be something you can watch in like 2 minutes after we finish. Go back and watch the first part of it. Today we covered Jungmai. We're going to go next into the Qi channel as Master Sha goes a little further into chapter 9 of this very special book. We're teaching on Tao Calligraphy, how to heal and rejuvenate yourself. This is session 21 or 22. And so if you came in new for the first time, you can find these recordings on Facebook and YouTube. And it's a very good idea to go back and check up on them and do those recordings. You get so much more value out of all the wisdom and teachings in Master Sha's book. Okay, so we offer our deepest gratitude. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to drop a special invitation to all of you. This is Master Sha, the founder of the Tao Center Portland, the founder of this form of healing. He is doing a very special Portland event. Okay, he's giving our center several hours of dedicated time, and for every person that registers, for their price of their registration, they get a Da Shu golden light ball, golden liquid spring for an organ or a system or a health condition or a body part. So if you have long-standing back pain, you have long-standing neck pain, you have a condition, right? You have, Graves' disease or some kind of abdominal condition. Da Shu is the highest form of a light ball that can be offered because it's a forgiveness light ball. Forgiveness is what offsets our spiritual debt. And our spiritual debt is why we are suffering. So to receive this, you can only get it from Master Sha. None of his other teachers can deliver it. It's a minimum of $150, and you can register at the link I put into the chat for only $80. Everybody who registers will receive this. So that includes your children, your grandchildren, your grandma, your grandpa, your husband, your wife, your partner. You can give it to almost everybody. Can't give it to your animals. But you can sign up all these people, and they don't even have to come. They don't even have to be there, and they'll receive. And if you're not sure what's best for them, then heaven can decide what's best for them. They might get a new brain light ball and save their life or extend them for another 5 years, stop them from getting Alzheimer's. They might get something for their heart, save their life. They might get something for their lower back and stop the pain they've had for years. This is a tremendous gift you can give to everybody. When you click on that, you'll see all the information. It's on the 17th of this month, okay? So put it in your calendar. It's 3 to 5 p.m. If you're not there, don't worry about it. We'll send you a recording so you won't miss anything. And even if you're not there, you can just tell heaven once you register, I would like to receive this Da Shu precious light ball for this condition, okay? So make sure you register on that. Yes, they do, Gene, for teeth and gums. I've received light balls for my teeth and gums. I can tell you they're priceless. I have had no pain where I should have. I have not so great a teeth, right? It's amazing how healthy my teeth and gums are, considering how bad a shape they have been and how long it had been since I've been to dentists. So absolutely recommend you take advantage of that. There's one other person was asking about it too. So that's coming on the 17th. Make sure you register for that. And I look forward to seeing you there. If you happen to be in Portland, we have a physical gathering where people are coming to gather together to watch Master Sha on a live stream. So make sure you click on that information in the link I've given you there, because that's available as well. Everyone can come to that event. And if you can't afford the $80 in person, you can still come to the event. You won't get the light ball, but you can still come to the event. So I hope if you're in the Portland, Oregon area, anyone in Oregon, basically, if you can drive there, you're welcome. And if you want to drive from Washington, you're welcome also, but whatever's nearby. Okay, I got to go. I want to thank you for coming. Don't wait so long to come next time. Put it on your calendar. I am here every Tuesday, every Thursday, about 50 minutes earlier than now. So look at your clock. Go back 50 minutes. Oh, that's when Paul comes. Come at that time. I will be here at least another 10 episodes till I finish this book. And good news, Master Sha is going to come out with a new book next month. So I'll probably be starting to read his new book to you after I finish this one. Okay? So you can expect more of this. Love you, love you, love you. See you soon. Hit the share button if you haven't already, and go back and watch the recording if you came in late. Bye-bye.